If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Always a pleasure to have with us in our studios Cabot Barden, who's a singer, songwriter, and author, and many other great talents, which we won't go into this morning. But Cabot, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us this morning. And first writing of a children's book.
Yep, my very first try at it. It turned out really well. I got to thinking, who have I not touched with my writing? And it was kids, and I said, I need to do something real simple and easy for children that could understand. It's got some biblical backing to it.
Why a children's book?
Well, I've got grandkids and great-grandkids, so...
I didn't know you were that old, man.
Yeah. We got about 5 great-grandkids now, so most of them little toddlers, so Libby said, we need to do something, because you've got books that your kids can read, but your great-grandkids...
Now, what age group does this touch?
From about 4 or 5 on up to about 12. It's just a basic little happy story about a little rabbit named Cabot.
Kind of rhymes, don't it?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to put this together?
About 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's only 24 pages, but it was simple. I already had a poem I'd written about Cabot the rabbit, and Libby said, why don't you put that in the book? I said, okay. So there we are.
All right. Now, it's available where?
Amazon, eKindle, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and me.
All right. And the book signing is going to be starting up in a couple of months too, right?
Yeah. August or September, we'll crank it back up again, get going.
What else you got on the table right now?
Well, we're going to start up the picking and grinning sessions at the grist mill in Childersburg again next Tuesday. We're going to have everybody 6 feet apart. There's plenty of room, and we'll have a lot of good musicians.
So what do you do there, pick and grin?
We have guys come in and sing and play, and guys and girls. Teresa Yeager's one of the people that comes and plays. We do everything from country and gospel to rock, just whatever anybody wants to play.
We've had Cabot on numerous times, and we're glad to have him on again this morning. He's been writing books for a long time, and he was a singer and songwriter and author, so he's very gifted, and we're fortunate to have Cabot with us this morning. How many books total have you written?
When this one comes out, it'll be my 16th book.
All right, we want to talk about that one this morning a little bit. Yep. Tell us about it.
This will be my second science fiction novel called The Dragon Slayers of Ganymede. The first one's called Ganymede Rising, which is about the moon Ganymede, which gets knocked out of its orbit around Jupiter, ends up in an orbit around the sun on the opposite side of the Earth, in the same orbit as Earth. So anyway, this is a sequel to it. This one here, the people on Earth are trying to settle the planet, and they discover there's another alien race that's coming there to live. And of course they're friendly, but the trouble is they're being chased by some not so friendly aliens that are trying to annihilate the other aliens. So there's
when do you think it'll be ready?
It's being edited now.
Okay.
So the book's finished. It's just waiting on my editor to get through with it.
You got to have a mind that is open to what's dropped in your mind, and you have to include God. You just can't think of that stuff, can you?
Well, this book here, my brother and I kind of came up with the idea for the Ganymede series back in the 90s. We were talking about it then, but my other books, people say, "Why don't you write about this?" Okay, so my historical fiction novels, which I'm back writing another historical fiction now, the third installment in the Cherokee Kid series. But those usually I do a lot of digging, do a lot of historical research.
What drives your writing?
It just keeps me alive. It keeps me going. It keeps me mentally challenged. At my age, a lot of us at my age are not able to do a whole lot, and I don't want to get to the point where I'm just stagnant or,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah. As long as you got a mind that operates and you have thoughts. I know Joel Hemphill, who's a gospel music writer, he said one time that someone asked him the question about how he wrote songs and stuff like that and how it came to him. He said, and they said, where does it come to you? And he said, you know, I can be asleep or I can be laying in my bed. He said, one time I was showering and it just dropped in my spirit. I had to get out of the shower, dry off, and go write it down.
Yeah, God calls on you at certain times, you got to answer.
Yeah, I guess so. So different ways. What about the writers organization, the songwriters organization here in our area?
Well, NSAI, the local chapter, is debunked now. They didn't get a good response, and then with the COVID thing breaking out, they just kind of disbanded here, unfortunately. So that's not going on anymore. I'm trying to keep as much of the songwriting guys alive by doing things like Grist Mill, and we're going to have some venues in Talladega, it looks like. Kevin Smith, one of the big financial backers of the renovation of Talladega, is doing a lot of songwriting himself, and he's going to have some venues up at the Bottle Works in Talladega, from what I understand. So,
Cabot Barden, our guest this morning, singer-songwriter and author of 16 books now?
16.
And continues to churn them out. And he certainly is one of the better thought of writers. You know, with the COVID-19 and people having to spend a lot of time at home, and if they've been thinking about, wow, you know, I might pin something about COVID-19 or I might write this or write that, I know you want to encourage them to take that next step.
Yeah. If you're thinking about writing, we have some writing organizations. We have a Central Alabama Writers Guild here in Sylacauga that meets once a month at the museum, first Monday of each month. Of course, right now we're not having any meetings, but once the COVID thing is over, we'll go back to have our meetings again there. Then we have a local Talladega Writers Guild up there, meets at the library the first Thursday at 11 in the morning.
I hear people say they'll tell something and somebody will say, well, you ought to write a book. Well, sometimes we ought to write a book.
Yeah, you should. I mean, everybody's got a story to tell.
Yep.
Everybody's life is important. Nobody's life is not important.
Cabot Barton, our guest this morning. Let's talk about the books before we go.
Okay.
Let's talk about the children's book first.
Okay. The Adventures of Cabot the Rabbit. Liz Douglas designed the cover for me there. She's a really great artist. If you ever need any artwork done, she's a great one to call on. She's here in Sylacauga. That one there is my wife's favorite now. This one, Dragon Slayers of Ganymede, should be out next month, hopefully, when the editor gets through with it. Then I'm working on the third installment of Cherokee Kid, which will be the last one.
All right. You got a poem in there, Cabot the Rabbit.
Yep.
Quote that poem. Read that poem.
Read the poem. Okay. I'll just read part of it.
Okay.
One day, Cabot the Rabbit was hopping through the forest. Came upon a mama bird sitting on her nest. He asked the mama bird, "Do you always sing the same song?" She said, "No, I sing different ones all year long. Frogs sing bass and the bugs sing their parts. I sing the high notes. I sing from the heart." Cabot the Rabbit said, "I can't sing, but I can listen." Mama bird said, "With your ears, there's not a note you're missing." Cabot the Rabbit said, "I wish I could sing like you do." Mama bird replied, "You're blessed with your ears to hear my tunes. God gives us different talents, like my voice and your ears. My blessing is my voice. Yours is your ability to hear." Cabot the Rabbit said, "Thank you, Mama Bird. Now I know my purpose is clear. Your purpose is to sing, and I'm supposed to hear."
Wow. That's a great book for children. It was just running through my mind about my two younger grandchildren. And we used to read Zach books like this all the time, who's 10 now.
Yeah.
And we have a 3-year-old, he'll be 4 in September. That book right there, he's always saying, Granddad, read me something, read me something. That's a great book right there.
Yeah.
And they can get these books where now?
I've got plenty of copies right now. I can't keep them in very long, though. Amazon, eKindle, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million.
All right. How can they find out more about Cabot Barden?
You can reach me on Facebook, or you can email me at cbard@hotmail.com, or you can call me at my number 205-602-5982. I'm available 24/7. So, if you need a book, let me know.
All right. Cabot, thanks for coming this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Cabot Barden, our guest this morning on Daybreak Live. More after this.